Taxstone, what up?
What's shaking, beloved? What's going on?
Everything good? Everything good? Back in Vlad again?
Yeah, back in Vlad with these bright ass lights, you know.
So you used to be a pimp.
Yeah, when I was younger.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How'd you get into pimping?
Damn, how exactly did I get into it? You know what? Being from East New York and Brooklyn, it's a strip, Pennsylvania Avenue, and it's like, you know, everybody knows it for like, you know, well, before Pennsylvania Avenue strip, it was like the back blocks, Alabama Avenue, Georgia Avenue, like where the factories at, and it was like crackhead prostitutes and shit like that, just renegade hoes, run around getting their own money. And what happened was that the dudes that was like in, you know, London projects in certain areas of East New York and Brownsville, they started like making it more organized of a track. So it became not crackhead hoes, but regular clean hoes, shit like that. So I used to always see it. And then one of my comrades, Kev Webb, had came home and he knew all of the pimps and just got right into it. And he like, yo, come on, we gotta do this. He just came home from mad years in jail. He ain't know no girls. I knew all the girls. So I was like the fake assistant pimp for a minute, like just getting him girls and he would pimp them. But then it was like a lot of girls that I would bring, they was my age and they didn't like him because he was older and like aggressive, but they knew me, so they dealt with me. So then I just started pimping them on my own and stuff like that, and that's just how it went. Like, you know, I was about 13 maybe.
So you got into pimping yourself.
Yeah.
Like how many girls did you have in your stable at your height?
My 5.
5 girls.
Yeah. Which is a great number.
That's a lot.
In the sport, it's a great number.
You know?
And I had them like close to a year. You
Okay.
know, like it was weird because it was dudes that like had bigger cars and furs, and that's all the hoes look up to, like who girls look the best and shit like that. And it was like they didn't understand how they couldn't get my hoes, and it was mostly because they was my age and they had a loyalty towards me, and they just trusted me, so they was like they stuck with me.
Because you know, my man Don Magic Juan always said that one is so close to none.
Yeah, believe it or shit, it's dudes that what they do is they impregnate they hoes. They get them pregnant, have a kid with them, and still make them the hoe, and still make them hoe after, because it's like more of a tied-in relationship now. It's like, where can you go once you have it? You know what I mean? I knew, rest in peace to my man Ip. His baby mother definitely was on the track.
Okay. Now, when you have prostitutes, there is usually a violence associated with keeping them, you know, tied to working for you.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, you know, I've talked to a number of pimps about that. You know, all of them have consistently, you know, said yes, you know, to the effect of, you know, if you tell her that you're going to do something to her, if she don't perform in a certain type of way, you're going to have to carry through on that. You can't just be talking and say, you know, I'm going to smack the shit out you and then never touch her. If you had to do that?
Well, that was a part of why I stopped, actually, because I didn't like the aspect of, you know, I like to fight, but I like to fight people that like to fight. Like, I'm not gonna be punching on somebody that's not punching back, or like, you know what I mean? That's why like when I do get in like issues and shit, it'd be with people that like to get in issues too. I'd be like, oh, you like to get in issues, let's get in issues together. You know, so like
let's dance.
I don't like, yeah, so was one of the reasons that I couldn't do it. I remember one time one of the hoes that got mad at me about something, Shonda's sister, my homegirl, and she got mad at me about something, and she called the cops. And the cops was like looking for me for something else that I did in the street. You know what I mean? It had nothing to do with pimping. And it was like, I was just infuriated. And I'm like, yo, when I see this girl, I'm going to kill her. And I'm going to kill her when I see this girl. You know what I mean? And at that age, like, you know, my moral compass wasn't all the way there, because even the dudes that was like basically teaching us the game, their brains wasn't there either. So it was like I was being poisoned because my teachers was poisoned, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So basically, I went my homeboy crib, like I popped up there out of nowhere and rung his bell, and he was like looking mad funny, and it was because he had the hoe in there. He didn't want to tell me because he just was having sex with her and letting her stay in his house, you know what I mean? And I got in there and she was like asleep on the couch. And when I realized it was her, I was like, what the fuck? So I woke her up. And when I woke her up, I startled her, and like she popped on me, swung on me, hit me about 3-4 times. And like we went in the hallway and we was like wrestling and stuff. And she was kind of strong. So it was like, that's what was really getting me. Like, cause I'm like, yo, I'm really fighting this chick. Like, you know what I mean? I'm fighting a chick. And I threw her down the steps, like, and she landed like on her knees. And that was the last time I ever pimped. because like when she landed, it was like her sister is my people's, and I had a love for her also, you know what I mean? And when I seen like how hurt she was, like she ain't break nothing or nothing, but it just to see like the position she even landed in, you know what I mean? Yeah. It was like that was it for me, and that's like.
I mean, she could have died. She could have broken her neck, falling down.
Nah, not really her neck, but she landed like this, like with her feet, like so it was like the weirdest fall, and I know it had to hurt. So I cringed at the fall. So when I cringed at the fall, like that was like literally the last day I ever dabbled in it, anything, because I was like, this is not for me. If I gotta, manipulate women or deal with, low self-esteem women in order to do it, because I'm not a person that like to pick on the weak or prey on the weak, you know what I mean? And that's what pimping is, and I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, because I remember, when the movie, the documentary Pimp Up Hoes Down came out, I was just like so fascinated that this exists out there.
It's corny though. Like, I always want to, like, Pimps is corny, and I always want to elaborate that, like, any pimps you write me, whatever, you corny, you know what I mean? And you corny for mad reasons, because I feel like this, like let's say if it's 300, like King Leonidas is not gonna go fight, the people that don't want to fight, and that's what pimping is. It's a mental spar, and whoever's the weakest loses. So the girl, if she's the weakest, whatever she might be going through in her life, we prey on whatever it might be. You need shelter,
father figure,
and that's what it be. A lot of times it be women that don't have father figures, and they might have a mother in their life. Their mother might just work too many hours a day to pay attention to her, you know what I mean? And that's why I don't like pimping. Like, it's too much manipulation. You preying on the weak, especially like, I'm sensitive towards women. Like, I say a lot of shit about women as far as like constructive criticism, and some women that come off to them as bashing. The strong ones know it's not bashing. It's like trying to give correction. Like, no, don't do that. Do this, you know what I mean? So, and it's because a lot of it has to do with that stage of my life when I was pimping. Like, that shit was like a fucked up stage. Like, it was a stage where I made mad money, but it was such a mental drain on me. And for me to have to be a counselor, a boyfriend, you got to be everything to these girls. Like, especially you dealing with 5 different women with different emotions. They all got problems in their household and stuff like that. These girls was my age. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
How old at the time?
I was 14, 15 years old. Like, these girls were my age.
Oh, so wait, the girls you were pimping were 14, 15?
They was my age.
Oh, wow.
They was my age. So, when I got to about 15, cracking into 16 years old, is when it snapped to me like, yo, like, this shit is like, it's corny. You know what I mean? It's corny for the manipulation factor. It's corny that you gotta prey on the weak. Like, and it was like different shit that like fucked me up that I didn't know came with pimping. So, I thought it was just about wearing my fur jacket, and I like had a lot of furs at the time, because like Pee Wee Kirkland had like a fur store. So I used to have all the furs. Like, I had at least a dozen, like, I gotta find old pictures. I got some, I don't know if you remember the phase where like they was wearing fur jerseys, R. Kelly and them.
Right.
We had the fur jerseys. Like, we had fur Knicks jerseys, Celtics shits, you know what I mean? But I thought that's what it was about. And then it was a day when one dude was like, yo, come with me real fast. And I got with him, I went with him to another track in Queens or South Road. And he jumped out and kidnapped the chick. Like, literally, like, jumped out, grabbed her by her mouth and like threw her in the car. Now, meanwhile, I'm a kid at the time, so I don't want to seem like I'm not with it. You know what I mean? I want to be gangster and stuff like that. So I'm like, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, what the fuck is he doing? Like, you just kidnapped the chick. So it was shit like that that just really made me was like, yo, this shit ain't for me. Like, I'm not kidnapping this chick. You know what I mean? Like, and then holding her in the house against her will, because this is what they'll do. They'll kidnap a girl, they'll hold her in the house, then they'll feed her, it's like a dog treatment, like, a bad dog treatment, you know what I mean? Yeah. They'll feed her, keep her on a leash, and like, probably won't even rape her yet. Like, it's like so many different tactics that they use. Like, you know what I mean? My man Kev Webb right now is in jail for rape over a girl that he didn't rape. Found a chick, she was acting like a hoe, whatever, in Coney Island on the beach. He brought her to home. He said he wanted to break her in. Now, to break her in was a hoe. It's like, yo, you'll have 5, 6, 7 dudes fuck her, because you want to know that her pussy can even take it. She got to know that that's what her pussy gonna be taking every night is a constant beat down or whatever. So they bought some dudes to break her in, and like she ain't want to get fucked on her ass, and like the dudes like fucked on her ass, you know what I mean? And I don't even think he even had anything to do with the rape, but it happened in his house, so, yeah, and he was the person that brought it in, yeah. And he doing 40 to life. But see, I had fell out from it even before that happened, you know what I mean? So it's just, that shit right there is just a sensitive subject. I can't do it. It's just like kids, like the, you know, and that's what all that shit lies to me. Like prostitution, it lies into the what's that shit called? Where they fucking trading kids and shit like that.
Human trafficking.
Human trafficking. Like all that shit is like, it's the same thing, because it's like you preying on the weak, because a kid is weak. Yeah. A child is weak. A young lady is weak that, you know, that's just roaming the streets 3 o'clock in the morning. It's 14 years old. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what it was too. A lot of the dudes on the track, like, I don't ever try to justify what I was doing. I know it was wrong. I'm gonna tell you it was wrong. I'm gonna tell other pimps they wrong, you know? But in my head, I was okay because I was 14 and the girls was 14, you know? But these dudes was 35, 40, and the girls was 14 that they had also, or 15 or 16. So I thought what I was doing was okay because I was the same age as them, but it really wasn't. It just was, you know, I was the same thing. I had a little bit of stronger brain in them, stronger mind frame, and I used it, you know what I mean, to prey on them. And that's why I couldn't fuck with that pimping shit. That shit is corny. I understand that mindset because I like have that, like, because you don't believe in somebody so much, you just joke on them. Like, I'm gonna joke on you. I don't believe you. So I understand it, but you know, I want hip hop, period, like, to stop the shenanigans with that type of shit. Like, yo, motherfucker, rap, go rap.
My monthly overhead for my household and household employees was somewhere in the neighborhood of like $1 million a month I was spending.